When we go down to Leviticus 13 and also we continue it on, one of the interesting things is that they talk about like the skin diseases, and I always feel like this is a cool thing because it's kind of where Bible meets science, because basically God was telling them how to look at different wounds, what hair was growing out of different wounds, and if this was happening with the wound, then that means it was infected, and then you have to quarantine them outside of the tent and all this stuff. But why was God telling them that? It's because they were building a new society. You have to know that it wasn't a lot of science and stuff happening. They didn't know. And so, but really God was telling them like, okay, this means that a disease will spread to another person. So basically they need to get away from everybody else until they're clear. He taught them, you know, what it means to, if it's no longer infectious. But if he didn't give them that direction, you can imagine there's probably leprosy, germs, and disease would be spreading all through the camp, and the Israelites would have been dead in like a couple of weeks because it would have just spread to everybody and they would not have known how to get rid of it. But you know, when you see God giving them directions on how to look at wounds, if it's spreading, how to tell if it's clean, how to tell that it's no longer contagious, then that was really some of the ways that God was trying to, you know, get the Israelites not to perish in the desert by just giving them simply medical advice. Now, so we would know basic advice on how to keep themselves alive. You also see that later on when he's talking about, oh, when you go into a home, if the blackness spreads or something on the walls, basically I would equate that to mold. And what we know is that if we are living in mold on the walls, then we can inhale them and we can get sick. And once again, God was giving them specific directions in Leviticus about how to prevent mold, like even if mold is spreading, and even he was like, if you notice that it spreads, you have to burn it. But why was he telling them this? Why was he telling the Israelites this? No direction was ever pointless or aimless. He was telling the Israelites this because he was teaching them how to keep their home clean so that they don't get, you know, things, mold and all this stuff in their house, and so that they would not get sick. And if mold did infect their house, he was telling them to burn it down so that it did not spread to other houses.
Not ready for the show to end? It doesn't have to. You can head over to my site where you can read hundreds of articles. And also you can feel free to shop my store where I have all of my products for sale. And last but not least, for even more video content, feel free to visit my YouTube channel where I talk about a wide array of content. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and until next time, stay blessed.